in team identity a lot. That's in chapter 4. But in chapter 8, I was looking at the conflict, and we really haven't had any conflict, and I'm not sure why. Because
about to walk into my apartment.
Like, that's kind of the norm. Does that make sense? Well, like my aunt used to say,
hold on. I'm sorry.
But
Paige
used
has
to
got
say,
company.
Yeah, so she said somebody was walking in, I think.
oh,
So keep going, Stacey.
Yeah, you can go ahead, Stacy.
I was just thinking like this. My aunt used to say, if two people never argue, then one of them is lying. But
I think we have been able to work through the conflict. I think that's a part of being professional and working in a group is being able to work through it.
yeah,
I mean,
that's what
yeah.
I was gonna read. I was reading about the part about power and conflict. It's almost like, so we are a team. We've established that, and then as we divvy up, the stuff that we're coming up with was pretty cool. You know what I mean? I think that makes us all powerful individually too. You know, because we have creative, we have research guy, we have tech girl.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that, by the way.
You're good. You're up. Let's just do. We'll go with 8 since we're rolling with 8. So you can go on 8.
Okay, yeah.
You go.
So I highlighted a few things throughout the chapter. I'm not really sure where we are right now. One of the biggest things that I was looking at is like the fairness and conflict. And as far as our team goes, we are a team that's made up of equality, not by choice or whatever, but we are. Like everything that we do, we also either suffer from or benefit from together. So I think it's important. That is definitely important for us to remember that no matter how much conflict we're having with each other, we're all suffering the same. So there's no reason to continue to, have conflict with each other. We need to use the, the, whatever the word is. We need to compromise and do things like that to get away.
That was where I was going with mine, was the fact that we compromise a lot so far. If you go back through our text, sorry, I didn't mean to interject, but that was the end of my. You missed my first part, but
I could still hear you guys whenever I did that. Yeah, it was just loud.
Kelsey, compromise.
What's up?
I think what you said is true, but also about conflict, and then it's the compromising that's kind of been pretty cool.
Yep, I think we've worked well as a team so far. So far, so good.
Yeah, I agree.
So, and I'm trying to look at my other, this is a rental. I shouldn't even be highlighting it, but
Post-it notes.
Well, it came so jacked up. I was like, okay, there's no way they're going to judge me for highlighting. But I was trying to find something else, but fairness and conflict stuck out to me the most. And, I think Stacy, and I think we all know this, but just because, a book, I think the whole book in this class is that there is no set rules on effective teams and management. There's just a long list of how different teams have made things work. And so I don't think that there has to be conflict in every team for it to mean that they're accomplishing something purposeful. And I think that we all have the approach that, look, this is all of our grade. And as long as we take our pride out of it, like, if we do work and we do not want anybody to touch it, that's one thing, but I don't think any of us are like that at this point. And so what I would so at that very first sentence, at the root of many conflicts or disagreements about what is fair. Initially, I know that when we do these projects, we can all take on certain tasks, and then once we do like what we feel might be a fourth of the assignment, we feel we're done. Like Stacy, you know, when you were very vocal about, you know, the whole bronze, silver, and gold, I think that was, you know, what we needed. It wasn't in any way like, you know, hey, Stacy, you're wrong, but the way you approached it was, you know, hey, you know, it's done. What's done is done, and we need to move forward and do the bronze, silver, and gold for the next week. And that really made me want to not only do, but I guess that made me want to do what is beyond fair, and just do as much as I can. And then as we all try to help pick each other up and pick the slack up in different places, I think that's how we're avoiding any conflicts. But again, I mean, conflict is good, but I think this book is a whole recipe of effective teams and management. And I think there's going to be conflict sometimes maybe, but it doesn't necessarily have to be present for, you know, something to move forward.
Right.
And that's it. So,
I
yeah.
think you said that really well. I was going to say something about what you said in the very beginning as far as fairness, but you kind of touched on it at the end too. As far as like dividing the work, it might like sometimes underneath, like if I say it's written out underneath your name, there might be like two different things, and underneath someone else's name, there might be only one thing named to do. But we also need to remember we have, you know, 5 more weeks left of this class. So maybe next week I'll have 2 tasks and you'll have 1, or you know what I mean? And then say one week you do have a little less of a task to do, then maybe we should, in that week you should really go on and touch everything up. And really, so I think that we're all good at doing that and making sure that we're each doing a fair amount of work.
Yes.
And communication is key. I have that written down in my book like at least 3 times throughout my
Right.
highlighted. And any conflict that we might, like the work family conflict I have highlighted, that very well might be a conflict that comes up. And that's not even between each other. That's just maybe we have to work today and Kelsey has to get off the computer, and that's considered a conflict. But communication is key, and she's already sent us stuff to in case that happens. So I think that we're doing a really good job of dealing with our tiny conflicts that we're having in the class.
Yeah, that was one of the main things I wrote down, was that work-family conflict. Just being able to make compromises, make it work. We're all busy. We've all got busy schedules, lives, families. Just being able to make a compromise where we can all meet and make it work for at least a little bit, better than just not meeting or holding off until last minute.
Right.
All right. Chapter 7.
Yes, chapter 7.
Start at the top. Stacy?
Well, we hit this one though, didn't we?
No, we didn't.
We were going to
We
last
said we
Yeah.
were going to, but we never did. Are y'all able to hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. No, nobody responded to what I last said, so I didn't know.
What did you say last time? Or was it text you're talking about?
No, I was just wondering. My phone's lagging because I'm at work and I'm not on Wi-Fi, so just making sure
Oh, you're
everybody can
good.
hear me.
This is,
Stacy?
I think as far as like decision making, we do a really good job at that. I mean, Paige is our leader, but we all contribute to making decisions. As far as like, not just the task, but how the task is going to go, what it's going to be about. The things that we put on our page, like it's really kind of cool because it's like our website.
It is our website, yeah.
Yeah.
It's for our journey.
I actually didn't even consider like maybe someone got more or someone got less. Probably, I think all 4 of us would be like, oh my gosh, maybe mine's not as much as someone else's. What else can I do? Kind of thing.
I agree. I think so too.
That's probably why we don't have conflict, because that brings us right back to the decisions that we make and that we agree on are really kind of grounded in compromise too. So
Booyah.
That
Paige?
I agree with you, and I pretty much everything I highlighted for this chapter is things that we don't do, which the good things that we don't do, like group think. I don't think any of us are going to fall into that category. I think we all will challenge each other. We have done it before, challenging each other's ideas. You know, in our previous, and even in our text messages, we have done it to each other. So that has steered us away from group think.
sure.
And that's a positive. I don't think any of us are closed-minded, so that's a positive. That's another way to avoid groupthink. So we also don't do that. And then as far as the risk technique, I highlighted it as well. And that was mainly for when we're making decisions about what we're going to do in Tuvalu.
Yeah.
Because there are going to be certain risks and things, and there's going to be things that we need to bring to each other's attention and not be afraid to say it or think it sounds stupid because because it is a different country and there are things we're going to have to consider that are not normal.
Right. For sure.
Can you all hear me?
Yeah,
That's,
Yes? No?
I can.
Yes,
It's
can you hear us?
It's got to be my computer, but like all you are freezing.
Yeah, that's happening to me too.
It just happened to
Okay.
me once, but we're still going.
Okay. All right. Well, the only thing I'd have to say on chapter 7 is the decision fatigue, which is a crazy study about the judge who one investigation examined how judges made over 1,000 parole decisions and found that after controlling for ethnic background crime, length of current sentence, and so on, those parole decisions were related to the time of the day that the judge heard the case.
isn't that crazy?
Granted parole, and only 10% were granted parole later in the day, which is insane to me. So I guess application in this kind of setting, I think what I liked, I don't know if it was group 11 or team 11 or team 1, but they had pretty much their whole schedule all the way through the class on when they're going to conference call. And I think it's important for us that we try to choose times that, honestly, this isn't the best time for me. I don't really even know when there's a good time, but like,
This is not a good time for me.
I
That's
just
for
want
sure.
to, you know what I mean? Like, I just want to make sure I give you all like, I would relate it to the judge in the morning. They're just starting the day, had breakfast, they're granting parole left and right, and all of a sudden they want to go home, and they're not granting parole. So I think it's also important that, as we go out into the business field, that we should definitely consider when we hold meetings and when we really ask people for their opinions and, suggestions for the business at specific times of the day. So, I always hope I can give you all, my 100%. And if you hear my kids out there going to bed, I mean, that's just what's going on. But I like the decision fatigue and the timing application of that.
I really never considered that before, so I'm kind of glad you brought that to my attention. I definitely I work at night. I'll wake up in the morning and be very awake, but I work well under pressure, so I do a lot of my assignments like obviously not in a group because I won't put my group mates through that. But for individual assignments, I really do work well under pressure, so I work well when it's closer to the due date. So I work well at night, but I can work well in the morning or whatever time of day. So if next week, let's change it up. Let's meet in the morning or a different day. I don't think the day really matters that much, but yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. Kelsey, you want to finish us off for reading, and then we can
Yeah.
try to get through what this next week's going to look like?
Yeah, I guess touching on what you brought up is just being aware of the time pressure. Right now is honestly not a good time for me. So if it seems like I'm kind of out of it, it's because I've got a lot to do in the office. So being able to step away from my desk was kind of hard. Luckily, I've got teammates there that are picking up my slack. So that is one of the things, be aware of time pressure. As for the group, I think we've done a good job as getting everything prepared before the due date. Being able to overlook everything, make changes, add things, delete things if needed. I think we've done a good job at that. Decision-making pitfalls. I've got the, let's see, overestimation of the group, closed-mindedness. I think we've done a good job of that. Being able to compromise. Again, back to Chapter 8. Chapter 7 touched on it as well. Being able to compromise and work well together. So those were the main things that I've got in Chapter 7. So basically everything y'all mentioned already.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry about your work, that you're under the time stress. That definitely. So you can get back to work. When is a good time for you to meet next week so we can get that covered, and then we can divide up?
Next week I'm off Monday, Tuesday. So I mean Tuesday night next week would work. Just not necessarily this week. So I sent, y'all did get the email I sent with just that little bit of information.
Yeah, I did. I have it pulled
Okay.
up actually right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess before I get off, then is there any way we can figure out who's going to do what? I know we've already kind of decided a little bit of that since Evan went ahead and did the emergency plan and the collaboration. But before I get off, that way we have an idea, or I have an idea as to what I'm going to be doing.
We can always text you and let you know as well if we need to. Hi, if we need to. If we don't figure, if you have to go and we don't figure it out.
You looking for a cat?
It's okay. Sorry. Okay.
So
But your list was awesome. That totally gave me so many ideas about what I need to bring.
okay. And you're going to do, Paige, the discussion? Is that what we decided? And then that presentation?
Well, that's all part. That's part of the discussion. But
Okay.
I mean, I definitely should do the discussion because I have half of that anyway. So
Right.
I can.
No, I agree with that.
We can book
I
it
got it.
out, yeah, by the front page of the CTF round. So, Paige, you're gonna do the discussion?
I'm sorry. What did you say before that?
Well, if you look at just the links that we have to do on the CTF round, there's 16 of them. One of them is the discussion. Kelsey, are you gonna do the collaboration with the other teams or no?
I thought
think that
Evan.
breaking it down from the CTF, like the thing thing you emailed us, instead of breaking it down by the tabs on that, I think breaking it down by the flags would be better, because we did it the other way last time, and I feel like I missed things that I wouldn't have if I would have looked at the flags.
Yeah.
I'll say what I did. All I did was, well, they go together, but when I did the emergency, I looked at bronze, silver, and gold, and it said what emergencies are there, and then silver was what would you do about them, and then the third one I think is like the travel, do like the weather, like a weather forecast for the dates that we're going to go. So I think with what Paige is saying, I think it's spot on, because if we do just take ownership of the specific task that we're going to do, I mean, however you want to go about doing it, then do it. But what I did is that I did the emergency plan all the way up to the point that I could, which was I didn't know when the dates were. So the second somebody gives me the dates, I can finish it, I can send it to you all. And I think if we did that, and I think on the communication one, I emailed both the other teams.
The
I said,
collaboration.
Yeah. so I did as much as I could up to that point. And I think if we can just separate it by those tasks and then do as much as you can on your own and
Yeah,
then
like-
submit it to the team, then however you want to go about doing it, then just do it that way then.
Okay. Okay.
So the
Evan,
we get a tab and the flags are the guidelines for the tabs.
no, I
Which are
understand that
just-
they're the same, and obviously I just think it'll be easier if we split up the work by those 6 different flags, just because those are
Yeah.
small, there's less of them to assign, and I know they all have multiple things within them, but I think that the person who's assigned that flag should do all of those things. Or as, like I
Yes.
said, as much as you can until you need assistance from others.
Yes.
Okay.
And then obviously the itinerary is obviously that's a very big one. I think that's gonna be the hardest from them all. Hold on. So whoever
I will split that half with somebody because again, I feel like I can do that forecast no problem and the emergency side's done. And then once I talk to the other 2 teams, then, that's done. So I feel like if I put what I did behind me and just kind of look at this as what are we going to do from, this conversation moving forward, that I'm more than happy to do, half the itinerary in terms of like, if somebody wants to do as much as they could possibly do, and then I'll do as much as I could do, and we can send it to each other. I think that'd be easiest because that does seem like a big one.
Yeah, that one's big, and then also the team reflection is pretty lengthy as well. We need to have a page on what we've learned about team discussions, a page on team identity, and a page on team performance.
That's definitely a collective item right there.
Right.
We all
Yeah.
have
So that
input on that one.
So that one but again, it's going to take someone sitting down and writing the page, regardless of all of our input. Someone still does have to do that.
How about with something like that we each submit to whoever takes that with what they've learned and a scenario that brought that learning about, and then that way it's more so piecing together,
Right.
like
It's a good idea.
You know what I
Okay.
mean? Like if I were to submit everything I've learned up to this point with what has brought that information, then it's just really copy and paste at that point
I agree.
versus some, hey, I've learned teamwork and whatever.
Okay. That's a good idea for that.
Could
So-
write a story.
I'm more than happy to do that and then give up my itinerary offer. More than happy to put that together or do half the itinerary along with finishing the emergency and collaboration.
I'm also more than happy to do the team reflection or the itinerary. It doesn't matter. I'm going to do the discussion. I can do, okay, so collaboration. I'm just writing down so I can see. You're going to finish the collaboration, Evan, right?
Correct. Once those teams reach out to
And
me.
then the emergency plan? Okay. We did that pretty much.
I'll do the itinerary.
All
Okay.
of it?
But now hold on, because we have to have 4 excursions.
And I
Ouch.
think I sent 4 different ones, or 4 different ones in that
Uh,
email. So I mean,
we
if you
could-
want to choose from any of those, then feel free. If y'all didn't like them,
I
we
think
can decide on
I
something
vote
else, but-
snorkeling. I saw you put snorkeling on there. I definitely vote we should definitely do snorkeling.
yeah.
have
And then I
some
thought the
kids.
Second World War, the remains there, like the airport, the airstrip, and that would be pretty cool. And that's what off of one of the islands that we're close to. So I thought that one would be cool as well.
So what were you gonna
Yeah, honestly, I didn't even look at that yet. So
I
those sound great.
looked at that and I definitely thought the scuba diving, because I looked it up and they have like,
The best reefs.
yeah, their island is made up of coral reefs pretty much,
Right.
is what it said.
yeah,
Yeah.
So that was like the number one thing to do. And then I did see the remains of some ships or something.
Yeah, off the
so
island
Stacy,
of
why don't you
Nanu
take Kelsey's
Mia,
suggestion? And
Well, they also have the fire caves, so how about we do
Okay.
the scuba diving, We'll do those fire cave things. I don't know if you found those, but those look
No,
pretty
I didn't
sweet.
see anything about that. That
I'll
sounds cool
definitely
though.
look into that. Yeah.
That could be a backup or something, just in case. And then the World
Yeah.
War II stuff is great.
Yeah, the Second World War stuff. Yeah, I'm good with that.
Right.
And then we just need one more. The only other two that I found was for like special occasions. They have like town hall dancing. I thought that'd be cool because we could actually like see the culture, see the people like doing what they do, like
Oh yeah, that would
normal
be
behavior for them.
very interesting. So it's like an observation for us of, and really we can. I mean, we could even attend and go, and-
Yeah, exactly. I think it'd be cool, be able to see their culture. So
Town hall something.
yeah, it's called town hall. They just have dancing. It's called Manapa, Manepa,
Min-
Manapa.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess
Okay.
that's the name of their town hall area or whatever. So special occasions they meet there and just kind of have like a festival for dancing and stuff. So, and then the other one was watch a national game of Teano, which is the ball. It's kind of like
Yeah.
volleyball, I guess. I don't
We
know.
need to have backup ones anyway. Yes, I thought your ideas for those were really, really good, Kelsey. And we need to have backup for the extra credit portion anyway.
Yeah, so there's 5 right there. If maybe we can think of like 1 or 2 more, Stacy, maybe if you're gonna
I'm
do the
gonna go-
itinerary.
I'm gonna go with scuba diving, the World War II. You want to do the dancing thing?
I mean, I think it would be cool just because it would be
Yeah.
see them do
Culture.
something that they do.
Right.
I suck
Diving
at
into the
dancing,
culture.
so
And
if it's
then,
just watching.
Oh, I'm not
Oh,
good either,
great.
but I do it all
terrible
the
at dancing.
You're
Okay.
good at dance. None of us are dancing. Don't worry.
time. And then I
Okay,
like the
so-
fire caves idea, Stacy. So those could be the main 4, and then if we had
Yeah.
an additional watching the national game of Teano or whatever, and then maybe like 1 or 2 more should be good.
I'd like to do the climate situation as well.
You take that,
Yeah.
Stacy, and keep us posted.
Yeah.
That's gonna add to the emergency plan, but also we're not gonna travel there in the height of whatever season there might be disaster.
So did
Right.
you have specific dates that you found that you wanted to travel there? That were
Well,
cheap
that-
flights?
yeah.
You're just okay.
I think that's gonna be according to some kind of weather stuff too, right?
okay.
I don't want us to travel like, I don't even know, hurricane season? Do they have
May to
hurricanes?
October is the dry season for Tuvalu, so
Yeah.
Tuvalu.
Okay.
So
Tuvalu.
I think in those dates would be smart. May to October.
I
Okay.
think October the
then
best because the tickets are cheaper.
Sounds
yeah,
good.
whenever I'm obviously we have a budget, so let's go when it's not like 100 degrees and be there for
You all
cheap.
see Group 11, or was it 1 that and I put it as the in the collaboration as the suggestion to improve, but I don't even know if it's okay. But their project was like $10,000, and then they just put this little annotation that the travel and flight and food is up to the personal expense of a person.
I mean,
I didn't see that.
I don't think that's how he's looking at
Yeah,
this because I think that's
Yeah, I
pretty
mean, if
easy.
that was the case, this would be cake.
Right.
Yeah.
This
Probably
is
why most
figuratively
people-
say, oh, I'm going to pay for my own ticket.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think that
So,
we should just we should stay with our 10,000 and that's what we have.
I agree.
Fly. Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
'cause-
So
yeah.
Okay, so then that leaves communication plan. I can take that, I guess.
okay. And then, Evan, I guess that leaves me. I can either take the team reflection or half the itinerary, or you can do half the itinerary, whichever one.
And I can help on that
I'll-
team
I'll work
reflection as
with-
well.
I'll work with Stacy.
Yeah.
Paige, you're better at putting words together.
Okay, so me and Kelsey, that's fine. Me and you can
Yeah.
work on the team reflection.
Yeah, and
then
then we can
obviously
just,
you guys send me whatever. Send me what you've learned, what you feel about our team identity, and what you feel about our team performance. And then I'll piece everything together for us and put it together. And then Kelsey, if I need help, whatever, we'll figure it out.
we'll talk amongst ourselves how we want to split that up.
Right. And then the gear list, everyone needs to take a look at the extra gear list.
I kind of started that. As for like the main like hygiene material, those are gonna be 3 ounces because that's all we can take on the plane. So it's just kind of how much we need of each and things like that. But in that email I sent, there's a little
Right,
bit
yeah,
of
that was super
things
helpful.
on there.
The gear list you started is super helpful. And I don't know if you have looked at this, but what I saw is for a gold on that part, we can only bring one carry-on bag. So yes,
right.
you are
Yeah.
correct about the 3 ounces being the biggest thing we can carry on.
Okay. So then for like the gold flag for that, we have to like take a picture of how everything's like broken down. Is that correct? Did I read that right? I can't
yes.
find my last page.
Yeah, we have to take I saw that as well.
So what if we make that like one of the last things that we do? So we get kind of everything else in place, and then our next meeting, like next Tuesday or something, we can have everything, like an idea of what gear to take, and then just kind of
Right.
break it down, who wants to take pictures of stuff and put it together and all that.
So when do we want to say we want all of these done or about done? Let's just say like silver level done, but pretty close to being bronze level, like by our next meeting next week.
Yeah, I would say that would be good. That way we can tweak things
I mean, I
and
would
get
say,
everything
yeah,
all uploaded.
I agree with, I mean, that gives me enough time. Does that give everyone else enough time?
Yeah, that should give me plenty of time.
Yeah.
Okay. So when do we want to meet next Tuesday? I have my work schedule. Let me look at it right now for you. But if we want to meet, like, Evan, you said this is not the best time for you. When do you?
Oh, I'm just saying that, like,
But when do you feel
in general. I mean, honestly, Mondays would be best for me. Like in the evening.
Okay, I could do next Monday
and-
evening. If that is what works. My schedule
Yeah.
changes every week, so
Mine does as well. Stacy does. I have my schedule for next week though. Stacy, does Monday evening work for you next week?
Monday's fine.
Okay.
okay. So around 6:30 again, 6:30 y'all's time, so 8:30 me.
That's I work at 11:15 on that Monday, but I should definitely be home in time to meet at 6:30.
Okay, yeah, that'll
Wait, hold
work.
up.
'Cause I get off.
You work at 11:15?
Yeah,
Like you start work at.
I'm a server, so my shifts are just 5 hours long.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
hey, don't downplay that 5 hours. That's a
I
crazy
know
5
you're
hours. I've
crazy
had
nonstop. I'm sure.
3 sisters who've been waiters, so
Yeah,
I know that can be crazy. So
it definitely can be crazy, but they're short shifts, so I should be off and home by then.
Okay, yeah, Monday I'm free. I get off at 6 a.m. Monday morning, so I got to work all weekend. Get off Monday morning 6 a.m. So I should be
Jeez, okay.
alive by 6:30 p.m. Monday night.
All right, awesome.
all right,
Okay.
6:30 next Monday.
And then we'll get this stuff done, and we'll be ready to go.
Sounds like a
All
plan.
Peace out.
All
Talk to you
right.
later.
All right, see y'all
Bye.
later.